Hey guys, my name is Daniel Mutheki, and I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today. Most importantly, I'd like us to thank God for enabling each and every one of us to be here today. Every day we say that it is important that you take the time to tell God thank you for the chance of seeing a new day, for the health that you have, for the wealth that you have, for the provision that you have. There are so many things that God has given you that many other people would have loved, but you have them. So always be quick to give thanks to God for that. There are some who watch this video and you are in a season that is so challenging, but I want to urge you one thing: nothing lasts forever, and a time will come when things will be well. Guys, as usual, I leave my contact details right on the screen right there. And so if you'd like to get to me, don't hesitate. Send me an email, drop me a chat on one of my social media pages, either Facebook or Instagram, and I'll make it a point to at least get back to each and every one of you by the grace of God. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Press the subscription button and don't forget the notification bell so that you're always alerted when we post a new video, which by the grace of God is normally each and every Sunday. And so guys, as we say, new week, new video. And this week I was wondering, what will I share with my lovely audience? And I was reading the Bible and I came across a scripture in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4. And let me read it to you. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, from verses 4. This is what it says. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in the mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. You see, if you look at this scripture practically, what in Solomon's days, what he was talking about here is that if you watch the clouds, if you watch the wind, if you watch the weather, so that you can plant your seeds, then you will never plant. You see, a farmer who waits for the perfect time to plant his seeds might never do it. Because here, Solomon is telling us that we do not know the path of the wind, nor do we know how God formed us in our mother's wombs. None of us knows the workings of God. And so when we as human beings wait for things to be perfect so that we make a move, then we will never do it. There's a guy called John Hill who said, if you wait for everything to be okay, then nothing good will ever be done. And a lot of us have found ourselves in this circumstance. We have found ourselves in this situation where we watch the wind, we watch the weather, we watch and see the conditions of life to make sure that things are perfect for us to make a move. And I'll give an example of investments. You see, there's something called the law of innovation. And in the law of innovation, you have those people who believe in something way early, even before it proves itself to be true, or as productive as people will find it to be later. And these are called the early adopters. Okay? These are the guys who will go and do something even before it flourishes. Right after that, you can find the early majority. Early majority are those now who will see, something is working out, and then they'll come and buy into it. Then you have the late majority who come way later. Then you have the laggards. Laggards are those who, unfortunately, by the end of the day are like, we have no option, we have to buy into this idea. And if you realize, for example, I'll talk about shares. in the stock market, a lot of people will be apprehensive about a share. You know, is it right? Is it good? I don't think so. I don't think this. I don't think that. I doubt it. And so you never invest in it until either it's too late or its profitability is not as you had expected it to be. And a lot of this doubt that we have in our lives has cost us so many things. I talked about the law of innovation. The people who get the best rewards are those who invest in something early. Is there a risk to it? Absolutely. Very high risk. But the returns are also high. And this is what Solomon was talking about. That if you sit back to watch the wind, then you just might be too late. If you sit back to watch the clouds, then you just might be too late. You might plant a week too late, or you might never plant. You know, a lot of us have done this in life. You know, I know of a couple who decided to first and foremost maximize their careers. And so they got married and they went separate ways in terms of career. One was out of the country and the other one was in a very different region. And so they said, first, let's focus on our careers, then come back and start a family. But unfortunately, it took so long that by the time they tried to start a family, it was too late. They were not in a position to have children. Some I know have refused to leave a job, have refused to take up an opportunity, have refused to show their gift to the world, waiting for the perfect time. Some have refused to fall into relationships, to start relationships, waiting for the perfect time. Solomon, one of the wisest men who ever lived, has told us clearly that if you watch the wind, you will never plant. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll never be in the perfect relationship. If you wait for the perfect time, then you might not move to that job. If you wait for the perfect time, then you might not have that conversation with a loved one. That conversation that must be had. Because I always say nobody knows our checkout time. And so guys, do not regret, as that farmer Solomon is talking about, that farmer who eventually does not plant and regrets watching the wind. I don't want you to regret your life. I don't want you to regret opportunities that you should have taken up. I don't want you to regret relationships that you should have cultivated. I don't want you to regret conversations that you should have had with people who are no longer here with us. And so stop watching the wind. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Stop waiting for your own opportune time, for you don't know how God operates. You know, there's a man who said, the attitude that which you have when you make a commitment will be very different from the attitude when it is time for you to fulfill that commitment. You decide to do something, you're all hyped up, you're all excited to do it. But when the time comes to do it, more often than not, your attitude will be different. You will look for excuses not to do it. You will look for reasons why not to complete or accomplish that which you have set yourself to do. I don't think it's the right time. I don't have money now. The economy is bad. We are currently going for an election period. I just got small kids. I've just got married. I'm not yet in a relationship that is stable. You see, all these situations you find yourself in are watching the wind. You are trying to find the perfect time for you to do something. And today I'll tell you, my brothers and sisters, go for it. Take the opportunity. You see, the guy who made the light bulb, He tried it 1,000 times, failed 999 times, but it finally made the bulb. He never gave up. If he waited for the perfect season, the perfect time, he never would have done it. And so for you, do you have a business you want to start, but you've kept watching the wind? Do you have a relationship you need to cultivate, but you kept watching the wind? Do you have a conversation with your spouse that you must have now? It is something you have kept away from your spouse, but you've been watching the wind, waiting for the perfect time that will never come. I urge you, have that conversation today. Is it that career move? Go for it. Who knows about tomorrow? Only God knows. And so pray to God, ask Him for guidance, and move forward. Go for it. Stop sitting back and watching the wind. Because I guarantee you, if that is your strategy in life, then you will never plant. When you never plant, then you never reap that which is intended for you. God has big plans for all of you, and He needs you to trust in Him. He needs you to have the confidence in Him, and He needs you to fully commit to His word. And so guys, I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in today, and I pray that this coming week will be a blessed week full of God's favor and guidance in everything you do. No matter the difficulty you're going through, no matter the challenges, you're not alone. God is always with you. Don't feel as though you are alone. Don't feel as though you've been abandoned. Feel free, if you need to reach out to me, utilize my social media channels, my email address that I shared earlier in the video. Send me an email, chat me up, whatever it might be. I'll try my very best to get back to any one of you. And so guys, until next time, may the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, may He shine His face upon you and be gracious to you. Have yourselves a lovely, blessed week.